How does Starro send a message?
How does Starro send a message? I don't know.
He uses a C-mail. Welcome to
Love
the
it.
greatest DC comic show on YouTube, Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. We're so happy to have you with us tonight. Will we end up being possessed by a giant starfish with a starfish across our face? You'll have to watch to find out. Even we don't know. But it's going to be a good time. We're happy that you're here for it. And I say hello to my co-host, Signature King, the Royal of Foils. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Was there any comic hunting or shopping this past week going on in your neighborhood, in your kingdom?
Yeah. I went to a local convention, so that's always good. Picked up a couple of issues. So I'm just filling in some old Shazam runs. So this is an upgrade copy of
Nice.
number 14. And what drew me to this is one, it's obviously an upgrade copy, but on the back, the gentleman I bought this from obviously had a booth, and he was telling me about the collection that he bought and is now reselling. So the guy had probably 20 to 30,000 DC Marvel books. I mean, just his massive collection, big book. And every single one of them on the back had this personalized tag. This is before grading.
He made his own sticker.
He made his own sticker, what he thought the grade would be, and a value.
Wow. That's cool. That's some investment.
Yeah, can you imagine doing that on 20 or 30 books by hand? This is
20 to 30,000, you mean?
Yeah, 20 to 30,000 books.
Yeah.
By hand. This is not like a sticker he made and just printed it. Like he
Yep.
wrote on every single one of these. That was bonkers. I did pick up one other non-DC book, only because I'm a huge fan of the movies, and I'm considering getting the director of this movie to sign it. I don't know. That's The Thing from Another World, the John Carpenter classic from the 80s. I love John Carpenter movies, so I might get him to sign this book. I don't know yet. We'll see. But yeah, I think it'll be great.
Did you like any of the records he did with Karen?
What?
Ron Carpenter.
Oh, yeah, I don't know who that is.
You don't know the Carpenters?
Oh, the Carpenters. Okay, yeah, I see. I gotcha.
Okay. You silly goose.
So, funny non-comic book related Carpenter story. So, my wife sent me, and the kids also sent me to Panera Bread to get some kind of coffee and breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about, this when Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso song was really huge.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know who that was, and I thought that was the drink because they said espresso. So I thought they sent me on a mission to get this special coffee that was like a limited edition by whoever the heck Sabrina Carpenter was. So I asked for it at Panera Bread.
And what did they say?
They looked at me like I was at three heads. I was like, I just was supposed to here to pick this espresso up by like Sabrina. I don't know. I'm like, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I felt pretty small at that point, but it all worked out.
There are rumors currently floating that Sabrina Carpenter could be playing a superhero in an upcoming movie, but it's a Marvel character.
I've been hearing that rumor mill a long time. I think it started with Taylor Swift.
Yep.
Playing Dazzler.
Now they're saying it's Sabrina Carpenter.
Now they're saying Sabrina Carpenter. I think there's one other person in there that I can't remember playing another hero. So
we'll see.
Time will tell.
Yep, absolutely. We're so glad that some folks found the time to hang out with us in our live stream tonight. If you're watching on the Rewind, thank you as well for wanting to be here. In our live stream, first up, Muabunga to White Tiger, Cool, Calm, Collected, Ruby G checking in very first. Followed pretty shortly by Gordon, who is here. Put your trust in Starro. That's right. This guy's been on the show the last 2 weeks. Where is he tonight? I don't know.
His pass has been revoked.
I guess. So John's Comics with Friends is here. I have an AOK video on my channel currently from John. So check that out if you haven't had the opportunity to do so yet. Our friend Kenneth Bird is here. How's Virginia doing? Hope you're doing well. Meow. To the Jackson Roy Kirk, who stopped in, even though there is no silver hair Bronze Age babe. He still stopped in, which was
very kind.
Which was awesome, yeah. I woman was so talented. It's crazy still to this date. Who has a voice like she did? You know, I mean, wow. And mark John down as absent. Should we mark him absent or absent with a demerit?
Why not both?
Okay, let's do both. That's how this kingdom rolls, apparently, tonight.
Yeah.
DC Comics news seems to be relatively light. One thing that I will say, it's still the summer of Superman going on. The digital movie is available for purchase now. In about a month, you can actually purchase the physical copy, which is what I'm waiting for. I want to get a 4K. And we understand that Abram Books in November of this year is releasing a hardcover, The Art of Superman. So that will be the art of making of the film. And that will be released coming up in November.
Very nice.
So that's something to look
I've been
forward
looking
to.
at the new Superman movie on, Blu-ray or 4K or whatever. I'm waiting for like a box set, like some kind of deluxe super cool kid special edition. I think I'll pick that up.
I'll tell you one thing that I saw in maybe it was in more than just this week's, but in a new comic book that came out this week, you can get digital copies of the 5 Christopher Reeve Superman films. That includes the Richard Donner cut as well, and the documentary about Christopher Reeve. You can get, like stream to own, $10 for the set of 6. That's pretty darn good.
That is pretty good. $10.
I mean, the first 2 movies are worth that alone,
Yeah, absolutely.
4 you don't talk about at all. So
1, 2, 3, 5, 6.
Yes.
That would be cool if there was a signature edition. You know what? I would buy it. I absolutely would buy it. That would be super cool.
Yeah.
I'd buy a couple copies.
There's a new Peacemaker season 2 has kicked off. Have you watched the first episode yet?
I got to be honest with you. I haven't seen season 1 yet.
You didn't watch season 1? I thought you did.
No.
Throw your dog an invisible bone. You don't even know what that means.
I don't. But I have seen a lot of reviews. I saw that James Gunn went and kind of changed the ending of season 1, where it was the DCU or DCEU characters, Jason Momoa, Ezra Miller were there, and they changed it now where it's Mr. Terrific and Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner, and I forget the name of the young lady who played Hawkgirl. Now they have lines at the end of season 1, Peacemaker.
Oh,
instead of Jason Momoa, Ezra Miller. They went and they filmed this brand new ending for it to make it fit now. So I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't either, because to me it should just be a reflection of what it was. It's like Star Wars when you start repainting the canvas. I don't know about that.
Yeah. I mean, well, that honestly could be a whole nother episode by itself. Star Wars was at least telling the same story.
True.
Peacemaker season 1 is changing the ending of the story.
Yeah.
To fit a certain narrative. But I mean, I understand the why. I just don't feel like it's a good idea, because from what I understand, in season 2 they're going to explain how Peacemaker fits in this new universe.
Okay.
And I mean, that's okay. They can do season 1 style ending in season 2 and make that work. But I don't know. But we'll see.
Let me just jump back to what we were talking about, just for some clarity here, because we got a little confusion here. Was there a Superman 5 and Superman Returns might be considered 5? What's in this 6-film digital set, it's all Christopher Reeve based. So it's Superman, the first movie, Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, then Superman 3, Superman 4, and then the Christopher Reeve Super Slash Man documentary that just came out like last year. Those are the 6 films that you can get for a $10 bundle right now. Don't know how long, or that's a permanent price, or how long that's going on. I just saw it advertised in one of the new issues of the comic books I picked up this week.
cool.
Yeah.
I know Christopher Reeve's got his own, I don't want to say cult-like following because it's not a cult, but, it's diehard. It's got its own diehard fan base. And, to this day, there's people that will just gobble anything up.
Yeah.
Christopher Reeve. So I
Mhm.
expect that to do well.
I like the Donner cut. Did you ever see the Donner cut?
No.
I really liked it. I mean, it was the original vision for what Superman 2 should have been. That means that there is some stuff from Superman 1 that was reused in there. There's some screen test footage that they never actually filmed the real footage of. All they had was the screen test, and you can really tell it's a screen test when it gets inserted into the film, but it's a good story. So
very cool. No, I'll have to check it out.
What do you have for news?
Nothing really. James Gunn kind of teased Green Arrow a little bit.
Okay.
It sounds like that's going to be a live action show.
Mm-hmm.
Not Steve Amell based, but
Okay.
interesting. I find that interesting that Green Arrow is going to get a TV show again, possibly. But I guess if it's on something like HBO versus CW, it probably has the opportunity to be a little bit more dark and not as campy. And from what it sounds like, if James Gunn has his way, we're going to get a Green Arrow who's already been Green Arrow. He's not. This isn't like an origin story. He's established. People know who he is. And I think that's kind of cool. Not that CW was bad, but I already know how he became Green Arrow. That show was very popular. Even people who didn't care for comics still watched that show. So there's a billion people out there who know how he became.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah. So Batman, Green Arrow, and The Question are getting a Black Label limited series called Arcadia. That's cool. That's gonna be launching November 26th. So obviously part of DC's Black Label imprint.
Yeah.
Gabriel Hardman is the writer for it.
I like the Black Label series.
Okay. Cool.
I think they should continue to do that, maybe expand it a little bit. There's some characters that are they are in dire need of a Black Label series. Like the Spectre.
Oh yeah, Spectre would be great on that.
Yeah, because sometimes he just straight up murders people,
That he does.
Because he's God's wrath. Some of the animated Spectre stuff that was at the tail end of some of the movies was just like a taste. Are some of my favorite envisions of the Spectre, because he's just like, hey, you did this thing and I'm here to punish you for it. Unfortunately, you're gonna die. So I remember one where this lady stole a bunch of money, killed a bunch of people, committed a crime. So Spectre just made a tornado out of like all the money she stole. It was death by paper cuts. They were just like all the low dollar bills were cutting her up. That's pretty fun.
A lot of irony in there.
Yeah, he's a very ironic killer. He likes to kill ironically.
Yeah.
Very fun, very fun. I could see that. But yeah, like I really do enjoy the Black Label series.
Okay, cool. I do too. If you don't mind pulling up the assist, we'll kind of segue over into a retro review, which I picked tonight. I knew it was just going to be Signature King and myself, so we needed a 2-issue story, and I thought, we hadn't done a Justice League story in a little while, and obviously I enjoy that. Bronze Age Justice League is my favorite, and then when I thought, what are some 2-issue Justice League storylines that we could do? One of the first ones that popped in my mind is one that brought us back to the return of Starro. So it's Justice League of America issue 189 and issue 190 is where we're going to start out. Any thoughts on this cover, first of all?
I love Starro, but I really enjoy this cover. But reading some of the issue that I read, I can't wait to get into it, but it makes sense. Sometimes DC doesn't do things that make sense. And we'll get to it in my issue, but they did this one thing that I've never read these 2 issues before, but I really enjoyed mine.
Okay, cool. So our story has, you can flip to the first page here. We start out 22,300 miles above Metropolis on the Justice League of America satellite. And on the satellite currently is Black Canary, who's on monitor duty, and Firestorm. And she's taken this opportunity to do some training with Firestorm, and they've been at it for quite some time. And she calls him out for cheating, and he says, "You need to give me a break. I've been at this obstacle course stuff for hours. If I have to go through one more loop, I'm gonna go loopy." On the next page, she says, "Hey, I caught you again. What's the point of trying to develop your athletic ability, Firestorm, when you keep fudging the test by using your atomic restructuring power to make yourself immaterial?" And he's like, "But I thought the point was to get better at using my powers. Isn't that what I'm doing?" She says, "Yeah, the logic's twisted, but you might be right. But you asked for some help perfecting your talents, and that's what we've been doing here." So, and he says, "This is a tough course. This is tough for anyone." And she says, "Really? I run this course every day, Firestorm." And he doesn't exactly know what to say to that as she starts to laugh. And he's like, "Okay, I guess we're going to do this again." Now we cut back in time, and Terry Watson is this kid's name, and he's just gotten a brand new fishing pole and reel, and he's so excited about it that he sneaked out of house really early before dawn and walked 2 miles from his home on the Long Island shore to the Long Island shore to use his dad's birthday present, his new fishing pole. And he's hoping his dad won't be too mad that he snuck out, especially if he comes home with a big fish. And he starts fishing, and all of a sudden he catches something, but it's not exactly what he was expecting. And he gets zapped by this tentacle. And we have the return of the Starfish Conqueror. So back at home, his parents know he's gone, and they are upset. He's going to get a spanking. The mother's like, "Hey, try not to be too hard on him. He's only 12 years old." He's like, he needs to learn a lesson. So the kid walks in, and he's like, "Well, the dad's like, what do you have to say for yourself?" And he's like, "Well, I must have food." And he's like, "You forget that, give me that bait box." And he doesn't want to. The dad pries it out of his hands. He opens up the box, and on the next page, blam, he gets struck with something. And his mom doesn't know what's going on. And the boy says, he needs food. You must give him food. "Terry, darling, who are you talking about?" "Him." And he's pointing to the box. The mother walks over, and she shrieks, screaming mad. Now we progress back to current day, which is where we were with Black Canary and Firestorm. It's a month later. We're in Central Park, and Red Tornado is cleaning up an area as Kathy Sutton, his love interest, and Treya, who he's giving a ride to, are having a picnic, and they've invited Wonder Woman along. And Kathy Sutton starts to talk about how Wonder Woman looks at him as Red Tornado and android, but to her, he's John Smith, a guy that walked into her job placement agency months ago. And he was a man with a soft voice, shy, hesitant way of talking. He was a stranger in town, and turned out he was a lot stranger than she thought. And she's like, what does it matter if he's an alien? We don't judge a human being by his or her body or flesh. Look at the men who came back from Vietnam as paraplegics. Are they less human, any less worthwhile just because they've been hurt? She says, "John to me is a human being. He cares and he needs, and I love him." So Wonder Woman's getting a new insight into this relationship. And she kind of feels that Red Tornado has brought her here on purpose, kind of to learn to observe how he interacts on this side of his life. And they talk a little bit about Treya, the girl that he found wandering. She was orphaned among war-ravaged ruins of the Middle East, and all of the joy that she brings to him, and how Kathy and Treya make his life so much more rich. We got some people out on the boat. They're doing a little kissy-kissy right there. But over on the shore, there is that little boy, that 12-year-old boy that was fishing, and his father. And if you look at their eyes, there's nothing in the pupils, just complete, pure white. All of a sudden on the next page, bloody Hades is breaking loose, and the boat gets tipped over by this tentacle that's lifting them up and throwing them out. Wonder Woman and Red Tornado observe what's going on, and he says it looks like it was a giant starfish. And the woman in the boat is caught in one of the tentacles, so Red Tornado starts to take off. Wonder Woman tosses him part of her lasso and hauls her along on the next page, and is whipping her over the tide. And this time when Wonder Woman gets close enough to strike the tentacles, she's zapped, and she's blasted unconscious by the contact of a force field surrounding that creature. Red Tornado notices that she's safe for the moment, however, the young couple is not. So he zips in further to try to save that couple. You know, unlike the Amazon, I do not require physical contact with a foe. You can flip the page to make an offense. So his vortex gives him what he needs to suffice to free them. And all of a sudden he gets zapped by one of the tentacles and he kind of falls to the ground. Starro completely rises in that final panel. Hear me, humans, you are witness to the arrival of greatness in your midst. Because of this, you are blessed. I am Starro. I have come among you to conquer. I first came to your planet many lunar cycles ago, and he talks about his very first appearance in Brave and the Bold 28 when he fought the original Justice League in their first appearance as the Justice League. And then before he was defeated, part of one of his tentacles went into the ocean. That later on regenerated a new Starro, which Aquaman fought in an Adventure Comics issue 451. But once again, as that Starro was defeated, a small piece of the tentacle was left behind, which has ended up growing all this time later into a new Starro. So it recaps us back to the boy that was fishing along the shore, caught this tentacle, zapped him and his mind, and, you know, he needed the necessary amounts of food to regain his full size and form. He was still too weak to take over the race directly, but he had mind control of these humans initially with the 12-year-old boy, the father, and the mother. But what he has decided to do now that he's gained enough momentum on the next page is make everyone his slaves as well. And he starts zapping everyone within Central Park with these energy blasts. And they are under his control. Each and every one have the same effect of being under his control. And he's going to claim Earth as his own, starting right then with New York City. We cut over to the Fortress of Solitude over by the Aurora Borealis. And inside, Superman's studying something. And we find out that he's not alone on the next page because he has Green Lantern with him. And they're trying to figure out exactly how strong Green Lantern could be. And Superman's talking to him like, well, don't you want to know how strong you are? And he's like, you know, I hadn't really thought about it a whole lot. It doesn't really matter. He's like, I've thought about it, but it doesn't do me a lot of good. You know, you get the same results, which is why I let you use your Kryptonian science to measure the ring's energy output today. It seemed important to you to figure out, so I thought, why not? If you learned something, it's great. If you didn't, that's okay too. And Superman's like, I don't understand. Don't you want to know how much power you control? And he says, Superman, I learned a long time ago, no matter how much power you have, you can only use a little of it at a time. I once tried to wipe out evil in the world. All I did was cause more problems than what I solved. You can flip the page. And then, so now I just take one problem at a time. You can flip the page. Oh, sorry, go back one. My apologies. So he says taking one problem at a time makes life much more manageable.
Hold on, it only goes forward for some reason.
Okay.
Back. There we go.
Okay, sounds good. And we'll be flipping pretty soon. We're at the bottom row there where an alarm goes off. Green Lantern says, what is that? And he's like, it's the comm link to the JLA satellite. We're needed. So the two take off up to the satellite. Now when they land inside the satellite, there's Wonder Woman and Red Tornado being worked on. Firestorm and Black Canary are in there. And, you know, the guys are like, what happened? And they're like, well, Red Tornado beamed him and Wonder Woman up and they were in the shape. And we're trying to figure out exactly what happened ago. They just arrived 2 minutes ago. We sent out a signal to all of the Justice League, but you two are the only ones that have arrived. And Superman's like, well, what about the others? And he's like, in Black Canary's like, you mean like Aquaman, Adam, Elongated Man, and Zatanna? No response, and I bet we're not going to get one either, because every frequency on Earth is dark. There's something jamming the electromagnetic spectrum. Whatever it is, it didn't affect your signals, and I don't know why. Next page. And he's like, oh, well, we're in the Fortress of Solitude by the Aurora Borealis. And he's like, maybe, and you know, the Aurora Borealis is the product of the Earth's magnetic field. That could be the aurora that kept your broadcast from jamming on us. And Red Tornado and Wonder Woman are starting to come to at this moment. And they said, yeah, that sounds like a logical example. And they're asking, well, what happened? And Wonder Woman says, I should have recognized him immediately, but my mind has been on other things lately, and I did not. And they're like, recognize who? And she's like, Firestorm, we battled him before your time. It's Starro the Conqueror. Now we cut over to New York City again. We are in Times Square, and Starro continues to infect the city of New York. He needs more protein as he feels his strength growing. Already, he says, I control fully a third of this urban population, but the mental effort strain my resources. Thus, I must proceed to establish a more complete control of my new slaves. Now that I have the protein I need, I can begin the replication. Justice League ends up satellite beaming down to the top of the roof. When they get there, Firestorm's like, I can show you around. And Wonder Woman's like, hey, I used to live in New York City too. He's like, yeah, but that was a long time ago. It changes as fast as a bunny. And Professor Stein is kind of telling him mentally, hey, you don't need to be so cocky, you know, and he thinks about how his place is being the dormant half of their fused Firestorm form. So on the next page, they see Starro is on top of the Empire State Building, and he is shooting out his miniature starfish that control people, and all of a sudden Firestorm gets hit right in the face. And trying to get the starfish off your face is not as easy as it sounds. He's now under Starro's control, and he starts blasting, which Wonder Woman barely escapes. But all of a sudden, she gets hit with the starfish. And the rest of the Justice League are starting to go in. Green Lantern's trying to use a net, even though he knows it's not going to be enough to scoop up all of them. And he says, we have to win this quickly, or we may not be able to win it at all. But he's shooting out so many starfishes, we can't catch all of them. Then all of a sudden, he gets hit on the next page with a starfish, hits the back of his head. Red Tornado tries to speed in with his vortex and generate a force field to get it off, which seems to work for a second, but both of them are just getting pelted. And then finally, right on the face, after a brief struggle, it ends with what you appear to be both of them being controlled. We'll find out later on that maybe only one of them got controlled. But for the next time being, Superman swoops in, and he's trying with his heat vision, and he drops Black Canary off to use her Sonic Canary blaster. And that affects Starro a little bit. He can feel nerve endings are burning with pain. So Superman goes to try the big knockout punch, but doesn't work. He gets zapped. Black Canary knows that if Superman can get taken down by this, what's she going to do? So on the next page, she tries to karate chop it. And, it doesn't really work. She turns around, and there's the infected Justice League that are coming after her, and she gets Starfish right in the face, just like Superman did too. So now we have all of these residents of New York City that are being controlled. Starro, including the superheroes, Starro on top of the Empire State Building. It's our destiny to conquer. He's going to take this city, and then within the next 3 days, the plan is to take, the entire country and then the entire world. Meanwhile, to the southeast, over the blue-black Atlantic, is a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier, about 10 miles south of Long Island. On there are some other superheroes like Hawkman and Hawkgirl, Elongated Man, Aquaman, The Flash, and Batman. Hawkman's bird comes back to relay the message of what's going on, that New York is being completely controlled by Starro. Everyone on the island is mind-controlled. And he says, I almost wish I hadn't summoned you and my fellow Justice Leaguers here with the help of my bird friends. And the Admiral says, but you did, Hawkman. You told us what's happening in New York, and from your vantage abroad, your spaceship in Earth's orbit, which is how we found out. He says, if the Starro infection has spread the way you described, we may have no choice but to destroy New York City. And that is how the first issue ends. Before you zip into your story, I want to go over to the chat too and acknowledge some folks that have popped in as well while I was retro reviewing. How you doing, Old Wolf? Our other Tony friend, Wolfie, Old Wolf 65 is here. I always wanted a love interest name. Happy. Yeah. Jason's here as well. Southern Comic Geek. How you doing, Jason? Thanks for stopping by. And Gordon says Terminator's arm. Yep. So on the next issue, the cover for the next issue, I like even better than the cover that I had.
Yeah, this is a cool cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this issue picks up literally right where yours left off. We're right on the aircraft carrier with our Justice League members, and they're talking about the situation at hand. And this admiral, I don't think we get a name for him, is talking about, we have orders from the president. You know what I mean? Like this is going down. Um, it's unfortunate. I don't want to kill anybody, but it's a matter of not only national security but global security.
So they're giving them a deadline, right?
Yep, give them a deadline. Like this is happening like very soon.
You got to nightfall.
Yeah, I got till nightfall. So Hawkman is able to convince them to give him some time, and they are able to think about their Justice Leaguers. And here we go. They're all gung ho and they're running. I just love this little panel right here. We have the Flash running on water. Zatanna is carrying, not Zatanna, but Hawkgirl is carrying Batman and Zatanna. And then you have Hawkman. I don't know if you can tell. I'll zoom in a little bit, but he's like just has Elongated Man. Like, come on, man. Not that Hawkwoman or Hawkgirl is not very strong, but like, come on. I just thought it was funny. But yeah, as Starro's power begins to grow, Starro has this need to fear, or not to fear, to feed and get up get up strength, and he sends out everyone to on mission to destroy transponders, transmitters, basically anything to disrupt any sort of rescue, which I thought was pretty cool. But let me back up here to a couple pages. I missed an important detail, but yeah. We noticed that Red Tornado is acting a little bit different than the rest of the infected Justice Leaguers. Like you can see in the thought bubbles, like he's just pretending, like he's not actually infected, and that's what I was referring to. I think this is a cool, I don't know what to say, cool little detail that he's not, and we touched on it briefly in your issue that he's not a human, he's an android. And it was quick thinking of Red Tornado to just play along. You know what I mean? And it's smart, and we'll see how that pays off. But anyway, Red Tornado is able to rip off his little star face hugger thing, from Alien series. But as soon as he does that, he is captured by Wonder Woman, who is infected. So they have this quick tussle, and Red Tornado is out of there. He's able to fly away. So as he's flying away, the rest of the Justice League is coming into town, and they quickly devise a plan to divide and conquer, so to speak. Everyone's kind of going their own way. Batman, I think, has a really good plan. Aquaman is going into the sea to make sure that Starro doesn't escape by that means. Batman is going into a big warehouse, and then here we have our big kind of recap of how we came here that you touched on. But I knew there were 2 Starros. I didn't realize there were 3. So this is technically Starro number 3.
Yeah, it's the 3rd incarnation.
Yeah, and it's just funny that he came here. We got the 3rd Starro just like the exact same way we got the 2nd Starro.
Mm-hmm.
Very funny, very funny. Yeah, and then we have our young man here. He's able to. He wasn't really infected. I don't know really how to explain it, but he's kind of remembering this story, and he's gonna go hide. Aquaman goes in the sea, and he sees that Starro's people are trying to break out of New York City via boat. Not a smart idea when Aquaman's around. So he's able to communicate, talk to these fish, and they just dredge up all this kelp or seaweed, and they're able to just gum up the engines of these boats, which allows Aquaman to jump aboard and just start swinging, which I thought there's some really good Aquaman fighting in this issue. And I don't know why, but I feel like they did these few panels with Aquaman fighting justice. and I thought that was pretty cool. So we cut now to Elongated Man, and I thought this pretty cool panel. He's got his eye just like looking around corners and stuff. I don't know why I thought that was so cool. So he's able to look, send his eye out, and he turns it around. He's looking at himself. I thought that was pretty wild. So here, everyone went on an intel grabbing mission, and this part I don't see how it fits in the story. Maybe it fits in another story, but Elongated Man and Batman are sharing intel, and Elongated Man kind of mentions that Zatanna and Flash are kind of not acting the same, and they're just being weird. And here we go into Zatanna's head, and she's thinking to herself like, "Oh, me and Flash shared a moment when we were on the satellite duty up at the tower." Okay.
So at this time, DC was looking at pairing those two as a couple.
Right.
So
I understood that.
Yeah, this is a kind of a long, what they thought would be a long-standing thing, because this is the first time he's kind of been romantically interested in someone since his wife died.
What issue was that? Oh wait, it says right here 188. Okay, yep, 188. Because I love how Lin Win would be like, "Oh yeah, that happened in this issue."
Mm-hmm.
So check out.
So they're both at that stage where they're kind of like, I don't know what he's thinking, so I don't know if I should have feelings for her, or
yeah,
they're trying to figure each other out to see how they should react.
Yeah,
and then DC would end up pretty much just abandoning that idea.
Yeah, like a bunch of middle schoolers. Okay, so moving on, a bunch of Starro things come, bursting through here, the replicants or whatever, and they do a pretty decent job of fighting them. I don't know how Batman was able to avoid them, but he did, and Zatanna used her magic to do her best to take them out, and it worked. But they go out on the town. We cut to Red Tornado, and he's able to subdue some guards or whatever. Looks like he's able to break into some kind of power facility, and he's after the transformers for the city that control the rail system, and he's trying to shut down the rail system to prevent Starro or his people from moving on. And this panel, I thought was
Starro's feeding off of that energy too.
Yep. He's feeding off the energy. I thought this particular panel was silly, but then again, maybe not. Maybe they're using Hawkman and Hawkgirl see a helicopter with Starro's people in it, and they throw just a big net on it. Like that's what they're gonna bring those helicopters. Not that the helicopter wouldn't just chew through rope, those blades, but okay, in comic book world they were able to bring down the helicopter, but Hawkman, I guess, misjudged the weight of the helicopter, and he wasn't able to land it as safely as he anticipated, rendering the pilots unconscious. While they're doing that gig, they hear crying in the warehouse, and it turns out that Hawkman and Hawkgirl have found the young man that was the first victim. We cut to Black Canary, and she is caught by Batman, and they have this really awesome, epic fight. And I always assumed that Black Canary, in terms of fighting ability, was pretty close to Batman. I always give the edge to Batman, but Black Canary's, she knows what she's doing here. I thought she would be able to handle her own a little bit better, but then I remember that she's being controlled by Starro, so maybe that's a handicap. I don't know. But Batman is able to take out that star, and we cut back to Red Tornado, and he's able to knock out the power. Anyway, everyone's back. We're confronting Starro, and Zatanna's got I don't know if she's casting some kind of spell here.
She is. She's making it cold.
Yeah, she has some kind of orb. But
That's
yeah,
for the light so she can see.
yeah, but I don't know if she
Yeah.
like couldn't like, oh, here's a light, or she
Mhm.
just whipped it out of her pocket. Doesn't really say, but I assume it's some kind of spell to create the light. And yeah, as the temperature keeps dropping, um, everyone is able to, just kind of lay into Starro here. We have Green Lantern, um, and Firestorm. I keep forgetting that Firestorm has matter manipulation, so he can make things cold even though he's on fire. So, and that's what's happening. They are freezing him. They didn't kill him. He's more of like a prison. He's alive. He's just frozen, which I thought was pretty cool. And yeah, that's where this issue kind of leaves off.
So when they found the boy in the freezer, they realized that he wasn't under Starro's command anymore. So the cold must affect the command. So they started testing that on the other Justice League members, which is how they realized that, yeah, in extreme cold, Starro doesn't have control of you anymore, which is why they did that.
But if you think about that, and sure, it makes sense. But if you think about that, Starro floats around in outer space, which is very cold. So
Yeah.
um, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much into this Bronze Age comic book. I don't know. I'm not a science guy. Maybe that's one of Star's mysteries. We don't know.
But don't you find it interesting that here we have Starro, I mean, a sea creature, essentially, as the villain, and Aquaman's not there for the end?
Yeah, I thought
I
that was
mean,
weird.
Aquaman should be like the number one dude in this story, but it's more Red Tornado.
It is more Red Tornado, and I can appreciate that. I like Red Tornado. I hope he appears on the silver screen soon. I think that'd be really cool.
He was good in his appearances on the Supergirl TV show.
He was.
Yeah.
I remember I was watching that show, on a weekly basis, and I remember that episode where they introduced him.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh hell yeah,
Yeah.
that was awesome. Yeah, very. And then they didn't really use him for a while after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, good appearance. Great stories. Great stories.
Yeah, fun, something just a little different to read that isn't too heavy.
No, and hey, I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is. I think this is this the first story we've done with Starro?
We did his first appearance.
That's right. We did his first appearance. Yeah.
So
the second Starro appearance. I remember
third
when
Starro because he was in that Aquaman story in Adventure Comics.
Well, I mean, second appearance on our show.
On our show, yeah.
Yeah, I remember when the Suicide Squad came out. Like you could get the mask. You can get like a Starro mask. And I wanted one so bad.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I didn't because they're all over the internet now, and you get them for like $10. So, but yeah,
well, Andre over in Brazil, they had a gigantic Starro in the water that you could get your picture taken, in front of.
Why didn't they do that here?
I don't know, but he got his picture taken a few times out there, and it looked amazing. It was like literally in this panel of this comic book where you see Starro like submerged, just coming out of the water. That's like how he was, and then you would stand on the shore and take your picture with him in the background, and it was massive.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing. And that's one thing I think DC doesn't do very well is market. But for this Superman movie, they marketed the heck out of it. Did you see in Paris, they put a projector on the Eiffel Tower of the Superman?
Oh, really?
Logo. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
First time that's ever happened. I thought that was pretty wild. They're getting better. But yeah, in terms of Starro, yeah, they don't really use him that often anymore. It's kind of a bronze villain and just kind of stayed there, really.
What can you do with a gigantic starfish?
I think James Gunn did a good job in the movie and making it more of like, oh, he didn't come here to conquer. He was kind of captured and we tried to weaponize him and kind of escaped. That makes sense. That's kind of cool.
I think we had someone rooting for Starro during our review, though.
Maybe he's infected. I don't know.
Maybe he could be. Maybe we will be before the stream's over.
That'd be great because I bet those people get a lot of rest.
If I get infected, I'm not going to work tomorrow.
Well, if enough of your work gets infected, there probably won't be any more work.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it. All right, so we had a kind of a fun retro review tonight, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, cool. We'll segue over into our book show, and I'm going to go first this week. I'll talk about what's going on my channel and then do the book show as well. What's currently on the channel, as I mentioned earlier, a John's Comics with Friends AOK unboxing. And Signature King, I'm very surprised that I haven't seen a comment from you on that video because of the thumbnail.
I saved it to my watch later. I tend to try to watch kind of the community stuff Sunday night. So after the show is when I watch a lot of my stuff. So
okay. I hope you enjoy it.
And expect it.
Okay. And then my back issue of the week is a Silver Age Hawkman story. So that's currently what's on my channel. As to, I should say I was a special guest with Mike the Sig Slayer on his Friday night show, The Stash Wars, this past Friday night. So that's on the collaborations playlist. So thank you, Mike, for inviting me. And it sounds like he's interested in coming back and being a guest again on Fanboys. So that will be fun to have him back.
Yeah. So fun fact about him, he's got a booth at the Nashville.
Yeah, he was talking about it. Yeah. That's awesome.
That's cool. I'm excited for him.
Yeah. So what's coming on the channel? There's a back issue of the week YouTube short. It's dropping tomorrow morning. I guess I should probably get around to creating that content then. So, but the plan is it'll probably be something Marvel based for that. Coming up on Tuesday, it has just been raining AOKs at my house, and it continues to. The forecast says more AOK action on Tuesday from Mr. Gretzky, 9966. And in this video, it's Marvel and DC. There is autographs. I can think of at least 3 creator autographs that are in that video. 2 of which I never had until now.
Oh, very cool. Neat.
There is a slab, a DC Comics slab, and some back issues. So it's going to be a longer video, but man, is it worth it, because there's so much good stuff in that video. So that's what's dropping Tuesday afternoon. Then on Wednesday on John's Comics with Friends channel is our next edition of JLA versus Avengers. It's issue 16 from each issue. This will be an interesting one because issue 16 of Avengers is where they changed up the lineup and only kept Captain America and then put in a brand new Avengers lineup. So that's going to be interesting to see if that shakes up. Overall, the Justice League's kind of been dominating the JLA Avengers show, but you show up and vote for whichever one that you think is the best. You don't even have to have owned the issues or read them, because we'll recap everything for you in several different categories. But just show up and help us pick a winner who had the better issue 16 JLA or Avengers. So that's what's coming on my show. As for a book show, we mentioned a few times during our retro review how Starro took on Aquaman in a solo adventure. That happened in this comic book. Adventure Comics number 451. Starro is setting the Sea King as his next conquest.
Who's a writer on that?
I would have to double check. Just give me a minute.
Oh, that's okay. If you don't know, it's not a big deal.
I'll tell you what. I'll get back to you after your book show.
Fair enough.
And then one more thing I wanted to show is a book show. I won't hold this up too long because it's heavy, because I didn't empty it.
Jeez.
Several years. Do you know what I'm getting ready to show?
I can only imagine. No, I don't know.
Several years ago, this came out.
Oh, man. Look at that.
So it's a comic vanity box with the cover of the issue that you reviewed tonight, 190.
Very cool.
So same thing on both sides.
Oh, neat.
So, and I got it chock full of stuff, but I thought, I mean, when you're retro reviewing this issue, this is what you got to show as a book show.
It's a book show, not a box show.
Yeah, exactly. It turned into a box show.
Yeah, that's really neat. Where'd you get that?
Yeah, like comic stores sold them when they were brand new, but I mean, this has been 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, they have my LCS, but they don't have cool ones like that. They have all Marvel ones, and
oh, really?
They got Dark Horse and independent ones, but they never have DC ones. Never. I don't know why.
Well, that's sad.
Very sad.
As to answer your question regarding the Aquaman in Adventure Comics, David Michelin Micheline wrote it, and Jim Aparo did the art.
He's a great dude. I don't want to spoil it, but he's involved. Him and I. A thing is happening between David and myself.
Does it involve Denise Richards?
No. Okay. I'm still waiting for that phone
call. Hi, Super Russ. How you doing? Thank you. I'm glad you liked that short box. That's one of the issues we reviewed tonight, so you can catch it on the rewind. All right, that's my book show and all my yakety yak. Go for it.
So coming up on the channel, shorts. Really, I don't have anything long term in the works yet, other than just the room. So as you can see here, I've got a ton of books out here. I had to pull all the books out of the file cabinet because I'm moving all these file cabinets, so I needed a place to put all these books. I got books everywhere right now because I'm moving stuff around. So yeah, shorts, and I think that's the only long-term one that's really coming up now. But in terms of a book show, I went to a local Comic-Con, and Todd Knack was the big draw for this year. So I met him for the first time at C2E2. He signed a bunch of stuff for me, so it was nice to catch up with him. In terms of what he signed for me, he signed a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to show it all here. I'll do a review of whatever books he signed for me coming up later on. But I'll show a couple here. So we have Stargirl, the Lost Children, where he did the artwork and he was the cover artist. So he graciously signed that for me, which is very cool.
Nice.
One other thing he did for me, I have two of these bad boys.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm going to fill these books with autographs and pass them down to my daughters. So he also signed the inside of both of them, and each one right now has the same autographs in it. So there's really nothing to show. But yeah, he's right here in gold. We have Jeff Isherwood, and I think I have a Greg LaRocque in here.
Nice.
And I'm not
know who that is.
Yeah, and one more that I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember. Okay. So it's still very early. But if you guys have a Costco near you, I saw these recently hit Costco. The suggested retail price is $40. I saw a Costco for $12.
Can't beat that.
$12. Can't beat that. Which is where I got these. I didn't pay $12 for them. I paid more, but I just was recently at Costco and I saw them again there. And these are very cool. Any character in the DC universe you can think of, they're in this book. They give you a little backstory on
Is Mouseman in there?
Mouseman?
Yeah. Mice have ears. Mouseman knows.
Mouseman. I bet you he is. For whatever reason, I'm feeling like I read that one and was like, I don't even know who this is. Mouseman. M-O. No, I don't see any Mouseman.
That's sad.
Yeah, no Mouseman. Nope, no Mouseman.
Okay, so anybody except Mouseman.
Anybody except for Mouseman.
Okay. I know that's going to disappoint just a little podcast wrench who is here. Do you have anything with a pineapple you can show?
Anything with a pineapple?
Yeah.
No, but I have some blue and raspberries.
Oh, we'll have to work on something with a pineapple next week.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And if you would like to do your own at-home book show, maybe something with a pineapple or Mouseman or anything DC Comics, Starro would be cool. Share a cover with us on Instagram. Just use the hashtag Fanboys Live and the Retro Review so we can see it. We'd love to see your at-home submissions for the book show portion here. So we got maybe, 5-ish minutes. Anyone in the chat have any questions or anything they want to talk about? Anything that you want to cover, Signature King, before we wrap up in the next 5 minutes?
Yeah, if any of you are going to be at Baltimore Comic-Con, shoot me a message on Instagram. Let me know. I'd love to meet up with you. I know there's a couple people in our community that are going that I'm looking forward to. Southern Comic Book Geek is on the list, so it's going to be great to meet up with him again. Um, Digger Jim is going
Oh,
to be
nice.
there.
Yeah.
He lives really close, so be nice to meet him for the first time. Yeah, I think we're going to do a signature crawl, the first ever signature crawl. Like, there'll be a lot of fun.
Nice. Yeah.
So looking forward to that.
Nice. What are you reading these days besides Justice League with Starro?
Oh gosh, you know what? I just went to the LCS the other day and I picked up something. I think I might have put them away already, but just catching up really on some issues here, and I'm going through some issues, and I'm trying to realize or trying to find out, as I'm putting stuff away, like, okay, who am I meeting at Comic-Con this year? Let me put some books aside. And I'm realizing that there's going to be a lot of books, including a Jeff Loeb. I'm thinking about, I haven't decided yet, because I got a stack of these Batman ash cans.
Oh, nice.
Too,
yeah.
That I got for nothing. Maybe we'll do something with that later on. Who knows? But depends on how much he charges for a signature.
Yeah. That's cool.
And don't forget, September 4th, I'm on the 10-1-1 with the Gerry.
I think I'm on that too, right?
I don't know.
I think he asked me to be a co-host that night. So
yeah.
So I might be on that too.
We're going to do a first ever on his show giveaway.
Oh, nice.
On that show. So if you want free stuff, I don't want to spoil it, but I've got a couple of things we're going to do. It's not just one. So check out Gerry if you haven't subscribed to him or yourself. I know you're dangerously close to 1,000.
Yeah, definitely less than 50 away.
Less than 50 away. Very cool.
And there are links for my channel and Tony's channel and more of the Fanboys past and present in the description for this video. And of course, you want to sub everyone up that's in the chat as well.
Yes. Yeah. Lots of good content creators here in the chat tonight.
Yeah. Got less than 2.5 minutes if there's anything else that you want to plug or talk about or.
Nothing comes to mind. Nothing comes to mind. But as soon as we end, I'll be like, I should have talked about that.
Yeah, I should have talked about that. Yeah. So. I know Batman Day is coming up next month.
Yes, Batman Day. On my birthday this year. So.
Oh, nice. You should have a Batman cake.
Nope, because my daughter and I have the same birthday, so I get override for cakes. So, unless she wants it, then of course I'll be happy. But I think we're looking more towards a My Little Pony cake this year, something with rainbows.
Oh, you're a brony.
Sure.
Brony, is this your daughter that made the appearance last week with us?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Great.
Yep. She ran to school and told all her friends she was on the internet. And I guarantee if she had a phone, yes, I don't know. I guarantee if she had a phone, she'd be showing all her friends that she was on.
Yeah.
She was tickled pink.
So one thing that I'm wondering about too, and you guys can leave me a comment in this video since we're getting ready to wrap up in the next minute or so. One thing that I've been thinking about is showing some more autographs. Maybe, if it's comic book related, I always show it on my channel. But what about comic or autographs that are like pop culture oriented? Is that even though there isn't a comic book associated with it, is that something that you would like to see on my channel? I had always envisioned when I started my channel that I would include things like that, but never really got into that. Now I'm kind of thinking about incorporating that. Let me know if that's something that you would be interested in me kind of putting into the channel. So this is something I'm kicking over. When you start hitting that 1K, you start thinking about what do you want to keep, what do you want to tweak, what do you want to grow, what do you want to everything, and that's definitely one of the things that's going through my mind. I don't get a lot of them, but I do get some. I got one recently that was pretty cool because it completed a cast photo of a popular 70s TV show. So,
yeah, I know your extension of your signatures is a little bit different than mine. I don't really have so much of the celebrities, but it sounds like you have a good stack.
I'm fortunate. So,
how many total do you think you might have?
I have to get back to you. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that.
Right.
You've been watching the greatest DC Comics show on YouTube, Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. Have a great week. Bye.